what you need to do.
I don't need any more drugs.
Dude, I know I kid around a lot, and I'm a little bit of a character, but I'm serious right now. This is real advice, okay? So I want you to listen to me. You should try smoking a little pot.
That's a drug.
It's not a drug, it's a flower. It has healing properties. Stress is a killer.
Okay, I get paranoid when I smoke pot.
Not if you smoke a little, bro. You know what you need to do? You need to hang out with my boy Willie. He's a great guy. He's the one who gave you that horse tranquilizer.
Familiar with a graphics ball? You ever used one before? Okay. Put your thumb right here. Put your right thumb here. I'm gonna call it right here. Now when I tell you to let go, I want you to let go and inhale hard. Okay? Exhale. Bullshit!
Just get my D.
Exhale hard. Exhale. Put your lips on it. Yeah. Go. Inhale. Go. Go. Harder. Let go. Inhale.
Dude, the Atlanteans gave mankind the secret 10,000 years ago to drugs don't give you a hangover, man. You know what I mean? People are just now starting to use that shit. Embrace it. I thought we're gonna solve modern problems, huh? Wisdom of the ancients. Ask Willie, bro. He's a shaman.
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing here?
We're smoking reefer. And you don't want no part of this shit.
You're smoking reefers?
Yeah, of course we are. Can't you smell it?
No, Sam. I can't.
Come on, Dewey. Join the party.
No, Dewey. You don't want this. Get out of here.
You know what? I don't want no hangover. I can't get no hangover.
It doesn't give you a hangover.
I get addicted to it or something?
It's not habit forming.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't want to overdose on it.
You can't OD on it.
It's not gonna make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
Sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is. You don't want it.
I think I kind of want it.
Okay, but just this once. Come on in.
Four tabs of acid, 400 micrograms. It was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. It felt life-changing in so many different moments. People have described psychedelics as a technology. I absolutely agree. It feels like there's an infinite pool of wisdom there and information. I can't believe that people aren't using these things regularly to help them in their lives. The colours were starting to come out of the screen or surround the room in my peripheral vision, and these duplications and recreations of colours, different things. insane. The music felt so good. Watching things on TV. It's interesting because I could see the TV, I could see the things coming out from the TV, and that was great. But then I would close my eyes, or I would get lost in a moment, and I was having this new reality again overlap this current reality. So then I went outside and I looked at the stars, and I just looked up, and then this like kaleidoscopic, colourful, vibrant sphere, but made up of squares and rectangles and triangles, was just going round and round and round. And fucking stars, man. The stars, so beautiful. Insane, that connection you feel when you look up at the stars and you're on acid or something, and you're like, it's there, that connection is there to the eternal universe. Knowing that you're part of it, it's strong. It's strong, and I don't feel lonely anymore. I used to feel very lonely. I don't feel lonely because of these experiences, and I just had these moments of getting lost in data and information, and like the secrets of life were being told to me. It was just fascinating to delve into this pool of information. During my trip, I had a thought that, like, if you're fucked basically in life, if you're depressed or you're suicidal or you're anxious or something, like, I believe that it should be medically recommended. That's all I can say. Really, in the grand scheme of things, whether something's illegal or not is irrelevant, really, in terms of whether it can help you or not. So this is another way of expressing yourself, but also delving deeper to understand what's going on and what you should do and where you should go. And it gave me everything, this experience. It was beautiful, it was wonderful, it was eye-opening, it was reassuring, it was loving, it was comforting. It gave me insight, it helped me in a creative way. It did all this, and the difficult thing is implementing it. But it's not impossible. It's not something that you should ignore. Everything's difficult. And the trip can be difficult. Life is difficult. So I think you learn things. It's like reading a book, you know, you learn something from that book, that video, that trip. And you can just carry on doing your thing, or you can implement the things you've learned now to help you in your life.
tripping?
One of these very strange places, like so absurd and abstract and completely insane that I can't explain. I'm sorry, guys. Let's keep it at that. Then my physical body started to disintegrate. So this is when the experience started to get intense. I could just see this multi-dimensional, multi-colored force field that was connecting everything, right? Including my body. My body was like, it was physical, but at the same time, it was half light and kind of merging in with this environment. And then I started experiencing different planes of existence, and my consciousness went through different layers of reality and dimensions, and then I started seeing a lot of kaleidoscopic fractals and different colors and objects that just constantly morphed and transitioned from one to the next, getting deeper and deeper, and it was just full of vibrations, and I was feeling the presence of a lot of energy and entities as well, and I was in a complete state of confoundment and awe to what I was seeing, because it was absolutely incredible and out of this world. The experience started just getting more intense, more intense, more intense.
3, 2, 1, best stay away from that weirdo. You'll catch a feline age.
Going deeper and deeper into this ineffable trance, which my mind was struggling very hard to comprehend what was going on and what it was seeing. And it didn't matter whether I was closing or opening my eyes, the visuals were just as vivid and just as intense. And I was in a completely foreign realm. It wasn't like previous psychedelic experiences where I get this sense of deja vu and like I've been here before. This was uncharted territory. And I just remember the whole fabric of space and time was completely morphing in and out. If you are going to do a dose this high, just prepare for it, man. Treat it with respect. Do not treat it lightly, or the mushroom will eat you up and shit you out. That I can promise you, my friend.
Research has been proceeding to develop a line of heavy-duty transmissions that establishes new standards for reliability, durability, and quality. Work is proceeding on the crudely conceived idea of an instrument that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters. Such an instrument is the turboencabulator. This was the idea. 41 monastically spaced grouting brushes were arranged to fade into the rotor slipstream a mixture of high S-value phenyl hydrobenzamine and 5% remonative tetraiodahexamine. Now, as you may remember from your high school days, both of these liquids have specific parastosities given by the formula P equals 2.5C times 6.7 over N, where N, of course, is the diethical evolute of retrograde temperature phase disposition, and C in that formula being Chalmondel's annular grid coefficient. Now, initially, N was measured, and here's where we had a great deal of trouble, with the aid of a metapolar refractive pilfrometer. A metapolar refractive pilfrometer. A metapolar refractive pilfrometer. A metapolar refractive pilfrometer. Now, I understand that this description may sound a bit complicated to the lay ear, but even experienced electrical engineers will appreciate the difficulty of nubbing together a regurgitative pearl well and a supernative Weynel sprocket. Indeed, this proved to be a stumbling block to further development. We were at our wits' end until, in 1984, it was found that the use of anhydrous nangling pins enabled a cryptonaptic bowling shim to be tankered. The turboencabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Nofrtronians. Moreover, whenever a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal depleneration. We realize that $59 billion is a great deal of money. We at Rockwell believe sincerely our customers are worth it. Thank you.
Never play to the gallery. But you never learn that until much later on, I think. But never work for other people. what you do, always remember that the reason that you initially started working was that there was something inside yourself that you felt that if you could manifest it in some way, you would understand more about yourself and how you coexist with the rest of society. And I think it's terribly dangerous for an artist to fulfill other people's expectations. I think they generally produce their worst work when they do that. And if the other thing I would say is that if you feel safe in the area that you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always go a little further into the water than you feel you're capable of being in. Go a little bit out of your depth. And when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting.
He's off the wall. Are you okay?
Oh my god. The most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. I'm watching the birth agony of a mom.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Really. Fine.
Just how dangerous is this stuff you brought back from Mexico? No, I didn't say dangerous. I said it was weird.
Sometime. You should, you like it. Mushrooms are always said to me, Amanita muscaria, a very powerful psychedelic and a little dangerous. It contains belladonna, like alkaloids, atropine, scopolamine. Synergete is highly regarded among a number of Indian tribes. I've seen it as synopsis to it.
If you can say it evokes all memories, including ancient ones. The inches called first flower.
First in the sense of primordial?
Yes, in the sense the most ancient.
I'd like to try it. Do you think they'd let me join their ritual?
Well, I think it's time for you to have your lysergic acid. Drink this down, and we'll be back after a while and see how you're doing.
Everything is in color, and I can feel the air. I can see it. I can see all the molecules. I'm part of it. Can't you see it? Oh, it's just like you're released, or you're free, or I don't know how I can say it. With what I am, I can see everything in color. Everything. You have to see the air. You can't believe it. And the dimensions and all the prisms and the rays and everything coming down through you and moving. Infinite beauty in my life. It's like a curtain or a spider web. Good heavens. You know what went through me? It passed right through me.
Did you feel it?
Me? I wasn't in me. It's too beautiful. How can you think it? Can't you feel it? Everything is so beautiful and lovely and alive. You shouldn't say anything about anything not being. This is reality. I wish I could talk in technicolor or let you see. Did you say you can see it? I can't tell you about it. If you can't see it, then you'll just never know it. I feel sorry for you.
A lot of days for me recently, it's like every split second the whole universe is created and destroyed. It's like constantly collapsing and reforming, and I think a lot of people feel that. And I think that love is the answer, and that's the only thing that matters. I think there's a lot of really evil people that are in control of everything, but I think people know what to do, and there's going to be a big change.
are great people in this country. There are wonderful people in this country, like yourself and myself, and we believe in our freedoms, and we believe in mutual respect, and we believe that everybody has the right to be left alone. But, unfortunately, there are also some really bad people. And some of these bad people were part of our central intelligence, and some of these bad people were part of some covert operations that murder and destroy and manipulate and do some really terrible things that you probably wouldn't even want to know about. You probably know about them because you do your research, but most people don't want to know it. As soon as you begin to explain something like this to them, they don't want to hear it. It's shattering their paradigm, it's shattering their whole world, and they don't want to hear it.
There are things dark and heinous in this world. Things too horrible to tell our children.
One day, before I'd ever had psilocybin mushrooms, I bought a bag of them, and I went out for a walk in the woods in Ohio. And there was a beautiful oak tree that I used to climb the very top of the tallest hill. You know, in Ohio, we don't have mountains, we have hills. And it was in the summertime, and so I thought setting is important. I knew that, so I went for a walk. And I ate the bag, the whole bag, when I was walking. It was about a half an ounce to an ounce. So I mean, so we're talking. This is the elevator ride beyond the 10th floor. It was probably on the order of about 20 grams, you know. But I didn't know. No, I had no one. But I went to this. My destination was this tree.
Right.
So I walked, and I came at the tree, and I was eating the mushrooms, and then I started feeling the effects. And so it was great because I was climbing the tree, and I was getting higher in the tree and higher in my brain. And I climbed to the top of the tree, and this beautiful landscape. But there was these, in the summertime, these boiling black clouds on the horizon. I go, oh, that's cool, you know. And so this big summer storm was coming, and the clouds were dark and boiling, and they were coming close, and I could hear the thunder, you know, and then I'm getting higher and higher, and the winds pick up. The tree started moving, and I started getting vertigo because I was like, oh my God, I'm getting so freaking high on these mushrooms. And so I grabbed the tree and held on the tree, and it became my axis mundi into the earth. And then the lightning started coming closer, and the lightning started getting real close, and the lightning would hit, and I go, I saw fractals for the first time. The atmosphere became liquid. I saw these liquid waves of these multidimensional geometrical patterns everywhere, and the sparks of lightning would just create this amazing crescendo, secondary, tertiary, you know, fractals all around me. And I was like, oh my, it was amazing. I said, this is what I read about, you know. So the storm came, and lightning strikes were all around me, and I was washed with rain, and I was up there, and I felt in touch with Gaia, the universe. My heart opened up. I felt one with all. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a powerful spiritual experience. I had no idea. No matter what anyone has read, as you probably know, it cannot describe the experience. And then it dawned on me, wait a second, Stamets, you're on the tallest tree on the tallest hill for miles in the middle of a lightning storm. This is not the best place to be. And so I realized I could be killed up here. Suddenly I had a reality rush, like, you know. So it was an incredibly spiritual and wonderful experience, but I also had the fear, and this comes with the hero's journey. You know, you always have the dark side, you always have not just the light side, but this counterbalance to the dark side. And I realized, oh my gosh, I could die up here. And I said, well, I don't die, Stamets. What are your issues? Let's get something out of this experience. And I said, the stuttering habit's ridiculous, and I'm not stupid. And so I said to myself, stop stuttering now. Stop stuttering now. I said that dozens, hundreds of times, over and over and over. Fortunately, the storms went past and held on to the tree, and soaking wet, I came out of the tree and walked back to where I was living, and I stopped stuttering in one day.
would make a difference. That's crazy, right? Because we're just a bunch of misfits. Most of the time we can't even get along with each other.
And you'd be surprised about that too.
What do you mean?
Well, all our predictive models suggest that a major paradigm shift is coming.
Oh my God.
I know. It sounds bad, but you have to understand something. It's times like these when long-standing patterns are disrupted that things become more fluid. That's when a small group of people, or even a single individual, can change the course of history.
You're conditioned to see the world in a certain way, like a dog. I hope one day you have a chance to look at things through different eyes.
How can I make you understand? You see, every living thing, every grain of sand on a beach, every star in the sky is linked by an intricate web of causality. If you can comprehend that web in its entirety, down to the movements of the smallest subatomic particles, then you can predict the course of events and alter them.
Everything you think you know is wrong.
In the end, it's kindness and compassion that'll save us all, not violence and anger.
Couple of words of advice. Let a smile be your umbrella.
You know, sometimes I wish I could go home, but I can't.
What you've got is here now, right here, right now. This is your family, this is your home for now. So don't let it fall apart. Make it work.
one way or another. None of us can change the things we've done, but we can all change what we do next, do next, do next, do next. I've seen battle. I've taken many lives. And now hear the drumbeats of war. It's the sound of lies and the love of power. And I cannot stand idly by. Someone, somewhere, for some ungodly reason, wants the whole sad lot of us to fight and die. Fight and die.
This is our world now. The world of the electron and the switch, the beauty of the bond. We exist without nationality, skin color, or religious bias. You wage wars, murder, cheat, lie to us and try to make us believe it's for our own good, yet we're the criminals. Yes, I am a criminal. My crime is that of curiosity. I am a hacker, and this is my manifesto. You may stop me, but you can't stop us all. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's
sense that there's much trouble ahead. Trouble. What kind of trouble? I'm unaware of the form it will take. But I will return. Until that time, I will be in the shadows if you need, if you need, if you need, if you need, if you need. When he thought in the most thoughtful way he could think.
You know, one of the things Tim Leary said in the 60s that I always remembered, but I never heard anybody talk about or ever really heard him quote. It was a great rallying cry. It was much better than turn on, tune in, drop out. And it was this. It was find the others, and then you will know what to do. Well, now you can find the others. You don't have to stick a flower in your hair and go to San Francisco. You just go to the web, find the others. We all need to create affinity groups, which are subsets of the much larger community that we're part of. And then, using this technology, which was designed to keep track of us, to pick our pockets, and to sell us junk we don't want, use this technology to produce art, massive amounts of subversive art. And all art is subversive. I'm not calling for an ideological agenda. All truth which springs from the individual is subversive because, and this is a theme of mine that I'm getting more and more into the longer I live, culture is not your friend. This is an odd message because we're all being told, you know, you knew you were Jewish, but you forgot your Sicilian grandmother. You have to honor all of your family. You're Romanian, bring it forward, the dances of this, that, and the other. I hate all this stuff. All peoples, meaning tribes, have horrible stories to tell about who they did under, who they screwed over. And you're asked to identify with your culture. You're asked to take this on. I reject it. Always feel wherever you go that you are a stranger, the outsider, the one looking in. This is the viewpoint that makes all places the same to you. And I think transcending our cultures is going to be extraordinarily necessary for our survival. I don't think we can carry our cultures through the keyhole of the stretch of the next millennium. Well, how do you shed your culture? How do you transcend your culture? By digging into your souls with the tools that have been given you to make art. This is how cultures are transformed. By art which flows up and actually submerges the previous cultural forms.
So large a dimension that when you go into it, you not only see things that you have never seen before, and not only do you see things that no one else has seen before, but you see things which no one else will ever see again. See, one of the great confusions about psychedelics is that they're all the same. If you're going to take these things, you need to take enough that you can tell the difference. And these things have distinct personalities. For instance, DMT, the Elf Playroom Reception Area, that seems to define it. The amazing thing about psilocybin and its distinguishing characteristic is it speaks. It speaks in English to you. It conversationally approaches you and you talk to it in your mind. I mean, this is an amazing thing. The mushroom has a personality, and like all personalities, it excludes some things and includes others. The mushroom personality is a radically eccentric personality. The mushroom talks about transforming the planet. It says, I come from a distant part of the galaxy. I have 500 million years of galactic history in my data bank. I have seen 50,000 worlds come into existence and pass out of existence. I've seen ships the size of Australia depart for Andromeda. I've seen this, I've seen that. It's willing to show you the newsreels of it. Self-is-the-other. That's what I've come away. The self-is-the-other. And assimilating the implications of that takes a lifetime. We have within us the very thing that we're seeking. They teach you that you are not a wannabe. You are where it's at. And nobody should allow you or sell you a different point of view to make you think you're going to be confused and get a Maserati or a Rembrandt or something like that. All that is just a detritus with the physical world.
Revolutions are made by 15% of the population, and that you can have a psychedelic society and be a citizen of a psychedelic society and never take psychedelics, but the ambiance of the society will be psychedelic. I think that, it's a calling, and in shamanism is a calling, and if you're not up for it, my own biography is perhaps instructive in this, and the reason I'm into all this is because I'm into what's weird. I always have been. I mean, I've always loved the bizarre, the outrage, the stuff of the edge, and when I got to psychedelics, I thought I'd hit the main vein of sprung verse or something. I mean, if that's what you like, then this is your answer. You see, what the psychedelic is going to do is it's going to destroy your whole world, your whole conception of your world. And some people, that's tremendously liberating. They say, wonderful, at last I'm free of it. Other people say, oh my God, now I'm hopelessly mad. I have nothing left to come to. I've really done it this time. You like watching your world shredded before your eyes and made into nonsense? If that makes you feel liberated and secure, then you can sign up for this carnival. If that alarms you, I think best to stick to the tried and true. It's not for people of weak psychic constitution. How can such a thing be? I mean, one is dumbfounded in the presence of this. When I encountered these psychedelics, I said, my God, skepticism is the proper path. And I believe this. It's not to believe, it's to test. I said to the mushroom once, why us? Meaning my brother and me, why us? And it said, because you don't believe in anything. It's a real thing. It's a real mystery. It will not yield to reason. It's a tremendously well-kept secret. I mean, how can it be?
Bliss is a thing in this field, the unified field. Bliss, they say, is the sweetest nectar of life. Bliss is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual happiness. And you can vibrate with this bliss. And it's this happiness from within. They have a saying, true happiness isn't out there. True happiness lies within. And I always wondered, where is this within? And they don't say where it is. And then they don't even say how to get to it. This is the beauty of this technique. There's lots of forms of meditation, but with transcendental meditation, to me, the key is the word transcend, to dive all the way in. It's a huge realm between the surface of life and this fundamental, pure consciousness, but it's there. And when you're in it, you know you're in it. It's familiar, but it's you. But it's you. But it's you. It's a simple, easy, effortless technique, yet supremely profound, that allows any human being to dive within, experiencing subtler levels of mind and intellect, and transcend and experience this ocean of pure consciousness. It's a simple, easy, effortless technique, yet supremely profound, that allows any human being to dive within, experiencing subtler levels of mind and intellect, and transcend and experience this ocean of pure consciousness. It's at the base of all mind and all matter. It's at the base of all mind and all matter. And right away, a happiness, but it's not like a goofball happiness. It's a thick beauty to appreciate life and living. And why suffer? Suffering starts to go. And people say, well, you gotta have anger, you gotta have an edge, to create. You gotta know about anger. You gotta have energy, you gotta have clarity to create. You gotta be able to catch ideas. You gotta be able to be strong enough to fight unbelievable pressure and stress and the whole thing in this world. It's going to be a better world, but it's still a very tough world. And this just gives you more and more and more ability to say, it just looks beautiful. There's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness. There's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. There's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. It's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter.
There is no relative direction in the vastness of space. There's only yourself, your ship, your crew. It's easier than you think to get lost. There's no relative direction in the vastness of space. There's only yourself, your ship, your crew. It's easier than you think to get lost, 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 lost.
Something's out there in space that regulations don't cover. I was about to head back for Mercury when I saw a meteor. I tracked it on the view scope to see if it was headed toward any shipping lanes. Yes? It was still pretty big on the screen when it suddenly vanished. Exploded? No, sir, just vanished. I started after it and checked for fragments. There weren't any. It was just as though the meteor disappeared into a hole in space. That's when I fired the cosmic missiles. What happened? The missiles vanished. Without an explosion? Without an explosion. Get my ship ready immediately.
All view scopes negative, Commander.
What's our approximate position, Grayson? In a few minutes we'll cross the Venus orbit, sir. It's there, all right. It just doesn't show up on any instrument.
No, wait. There's something moving across the sun.
Commander Corey and Terra 5 to Major Robertson at Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra. Commander Corey to Major Robertson.
Major Robertson here. Go ahead, Commander.
Robbie, we're at the Venus orbit, Sun-Myra orientation. We found what we're looking for.
There's something out there, now within the orbit of Venus. It's not a solid object, but it cuts off light from the sun. Professor, this cycloplex has already destroyed a meteor, 2 cosmic missiles, and a robot spaceship. That's moving toward the inner planets. If it holds its present direction and velocity, Mars will move right into it in a few days. What's the nature of this thing? What happens to objects that move into it?
Well, they are transported into other dimensions, or perhaps into a matrix of several dimensions.
Well, they cease to exist in space as we know it, that's certain.
This thing is from some other dimension, Commander. It's an intruder into our space-time system.
You mean it isn't even from another galaxy? From another part of our space?
You've heard of Huddleston's ring, haven't you?
Yes. Very interesting effect. What's Huddleston's ring, sir?
It makes use of an effect that occurs at temperatures close to absolute zero.
Oh, like those of outer space?
Exactly. Extremely low temperatures, some metals become superconductors of electricity.
Superconductors?
They have no resistance to the flow of current.
That means if a current is started in a ring made of a superconducting material, it flows indefinitely.
Even when the power's cut off?
Right. And if the power is constantly applied, the current builds up. It increases more and more.
Oh, I see.
A scientist named Huddleston has been conducting experiments with a giant ring in outer space near Jupiter.
Yes. He has a laboratory spaceship in the center of the ring.
Suppose that Huddleston turns the power on full, charging that ring and the magnets around it, and keeps the power on. Would it destroy the cycloplex?
Perhaps it would be dangerous. A magnetic force of incredible intensity would be built up. There is no damage.
Professor, I want to send Huddleston's ring into that cycloplex. Huddleston will pull out of the orbit around Jupiter under manual control.
Check.
When he's on the vector, which I give you in a minute, a Space Patrol cruiser will pick him up in space. Huddleston will handle the ring and its lab ship by remote control until we pick it up on our view scope.
Got it, Commander.
Then I'll take control of the ring from that point on. A few more seconds, we'll know.
Yeah, Huddleston's ring is practically in the outer field of the vortex now.
Nothing's happening, though.
Wait. The blur on the lab ship seems to be dimming.
It's as though the cycloplex were choking down the magnetism.
Look, you can see the outline of the ring now, and the lab ship.
I'm afraid it's not going to work, Commander. The power of the cycloplex is too strong.
Wow, look at that! The lab ship just flew apart.
The ring is still intact.
The blur is building up again.
Magnetic force pulled the ship apart.
The ring's in the black circle now. Something's happening.
It's a battle of magnetic force.
The black circle is growing smaller.
It sure is. It's shrinking rapidly.
That ring can hold up long enough.
The cycloplex is just a black dot. It's gone. The cycloplex is gone, Commander. It worked. Thanks to you, Commander. It saved a planet.
It took all of us. Enter the story in our logbook, Happy.
Yes, sir.
What a mission to describe. We've just filled in a hole in empty space.
Hey, maybe I should make the log entry in invisible ink.
Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday.
People are afraid to grab or touch the levers and buttons in the control room of the historical vehicle. And what that means then is that people who can cut through these many, many illusions, the illusion of materialism, the illusion of business as usual, the illusion of benevolent institutions carefully guiding us toward reasonable destinies. If you cut through all that, if you disabuse yourself of all that, you will empower yourself to eventually be able to stand up in delicate social and political situations and just say, bullshit. That's bullshit. Outside the then of culture lies an unmapped terra incognita, as vast as the New World was to the old in the 15th century, as vast as outer space appears to us now. The New World outside of culture is a world that can be conquered through vision and language. And many of you have sat through my recitations of what it's like to smoke DMT. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the medieval woodcut of the guy sticking his head through the cogs and wheels of the cosmic machinery to observe a new world outside. The message here is, and it's more than a message. It's a message if you just come to events like this and then go back to studying cost accounting. It's an experience, if you will, but avail yourselves of these tools. The experiences of the discovery of a new world, as real as any world that we know. It's not going to come from Time magazine or the Secretary General of the United Nations or anybody like that. It isn't that the world is tired and played out and that all frontiers have been explored. Every culture could support that viewpoint within certain classes and in certain situations. But in fact, it has never been true, and it isn't true now. We are monkeys, and monkeys love a hell of a good fight, and we have a hell of a fight bearing down on us because we have to clean up the mess. We're not going to go silently into the gentle night of extinction. It's just not going to happen that way. Creativity is going to be unleashed. It's the greatest challenge to intelligence that intelligence has ever faced. And yet it's precisely the kind of challenge that intelligence should be able to meet. If you're seeking the thumbprint of the transcendental on the myriad phenomena that compose life on this planet, to my mind, the place to look is human language. Human language represents an ontological break of major magnitude with anything else going on this planet. I mean, yes, bees dance and dolphins squeak and chimpanzees do what they do, but it's a hell of a step from there to Wallace Stevens, let alone William Shakespeare. Language is the unique province of human beings, and language is the unique tool of the artist. The artist is the person of language. The work that I've done with psilocybin mushrooms and the observations of psychedelic plant use in the Amazon centered around ayahuasca lead me to the conclusion that it is the synergy and catalysis of language that lies behind not only the emergence of human consciousness out of animal organization, but then its ability to set a course for a transcendental dimension and pursue that course against all the vicissitudes of biology and history over 10 or 15,000 years. Language has made us more than a group of pack-hunting monkeys. It's made us a group of pack-hunting monkeys with a dream. And the fallout from that dream has given us our glory and our shame, our weaponry, our technology, our art, our hope, our fear. All of this arises out of our own ability to articulate and to communicate with each other. The glory of the human animal is cognitive activity, song, dance, sculpture, poetry. When we participate in them, we cross out of the domain of animal organization and into the domain of a genuine relationship to the transcendent. Artists, alone among human beings, are given permission to talk in terms of my inspiration, or a voice which told me to do this, or a vision that must be realized. The thin line, the thin thread of shamanic descent into our profane world leads through the office of the artist. And so, if society is to somehow take hold of itself at this penultimate moment, as we literally waver on the brink of planetary extinction, then the artist, like Ariadne following her thread out of the labyrinth, is going to have to follow his shamanic thread back through time. When I was in the Amazon, in these pastures, looking at these pastures full of these mushrooms, I kept thinking, it's the lost part of the human brain. It's that part of us is in these fields. That this mushroom, this is human flesh. It's a strange kind of human, but hell, we're about to give legal rights to fetuses. We might as well extend legal rights to mushrooms and make them voting citizens. Because, you see, it's intelligent. It's intelligent, it loves you, it can blow your mind, it can make you laugh, it can make you cry, it can make you laugh, it can make you cry, it can make you laugh, it can make you cry, it can make you laugh, it can make you cry. There's no other way to relate to something like that except to love it in spite of yourself. I mean, this is how you seduce someone. You make them laugh, you make them cry, you move them, you get them to drop their barriers, you get them to not be afraid. This is what it does to us. It seduces us back into this relationship, and I think we return to it with an immense sense of relief. It's just like, this is what you are. You are some kind of a mystery suspended between two eternities. And in that moment, when a mind looks out at a world and asks the question, what is it? In that moment, art can be created. And it is the only form of immortality that I have any certainty of. And it's available to everyone. I think that if we could really follow ourselves into dream every evening with full consciousness, that we would discover that we touch the philosopher's stone at least once every 24 hours. It's just that we return down the river of forgetting, let's say, and every morning we emerge from spending time with the other as self, and then we're inserted back into the fiction of our three-dimensional existence and our individuality.
For me, it's been enough energy to keep me going this long, and I don't see any end, at least for me, in terms of my work, of information, in terms of, do I need to go looking for material? No, I don't need to go looking for material. I have like an infinite amount of material has been deposited, and all I have to do is like tune into it, which is real easy to do because it's always there. Limitless possibilities, you know what I mean? I had, some incredible psychedelic experiences that were so cosmic, they were so huge in scope, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, I had to revise everything that I thought I knew about anything, I said, this stuff is coming from somewhere. If it's not out there, it's coming from me. It's coming from my mind, my brain. That means my brain has an infinite amount of capacity in there that I had no sense of. I didn't know anything about it. But there it was, and I've seen it, you know. I not only saw it, but I walked around in it. I had a million incarnations in it. I lived and died in it, you know what I mean? I had experiences beyond anything I've ever experienced, more real than anything I've ever experienced in this world. Limitless possibilities, you know what I mean?